Hello there and welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. Today is sneak peek day 3 of our upcoming January 4th release, which is tomorrow. We have so many fun things in this release and I'm excited to share them with you today. We have a really cute stamp set up first. It's the My One and Gnomely stamp set. This 4x6 set has 4 main gnome images, some really punny sentiments, and some teeny tiny sentiments as well. The die set is going to cut out every single stamp in this image, which makes me so happy. You can see all those little images are going to fit on the heart that one of the gnomes is holding, or it's going to fit on the balloon, and there's some kissy gnomes. They're just so darn cute. So you can see all the little dies there, and the dies are going to bubble cut out your sentiments, which I love. Now let's take a look at these images stamped and colored out, and then I'm showing them to you here with the dies and all die cut out. So you can see how nicely those dies work around these images. I love how it cuts out the middle of the hats with the 2 kissy gnomes, and the teeny tiny sentiments even have their own dies. Next up, we have the Dragon Dance 4x6 set. This includes a masking die in the coordinating die set. So you'll see that there's 2 dies that look like they cut around this big puppet dragon head. We've got some sentiments there, and then you can see the little guy under, like holding up the legs of the dragon. So let me show you how these dies work. Here's the die to cut out the little boy part. There's the die to cut out the dragon head, and the other die will cut out the shape of the dragon head like you're cutting it out on the black outline. This is going to allow you to use that as a mask without having to do the fussy cutting. Then there's a die there that cuts out some confetti, so we've not wasted any space on the metal used to create this die set. We've included a confetti die for you. Here you can see all the images colored up. What a fun image to color. I had so much fun picking out the colors for this and deciding just how to color it. We've got 3 sentiments there. There's one in Chinese that translates to say, "May you be happy and prosperous." Then we also have "Happy New Year" and "Dance like a dragon." So here you can see it up close, colored and die cut out. So much fun. You can make interactive cards with this, like a slider or a wobbler, something like that would be really fun with this set. And you can add the dragon head however you like, so you can see the little boy, or he could be covered up and revealed with an interactive mechanism. Next up, we have some brand new Simply Sentimental sets. This is Simply Sentimental Hugs. I'm so excited about this one. Of course, I love all my Simply Sentimental stamps, so when we have a new one that comes out, I get super excited. You can see there are several different words that say hug or hugs in different fonts, and you can pair those with the sub-sentiments in this set, which is so cool. And there's lots of fun sentiments in here, like you can stamp out the words hug enclosed or hugs enclosed, squishy hugs, hug in a mug, bear hug, long distance hugs, hugs from me to you, saving up lots of hugs for when I see you, holiday hugs, hugs and wishes. I mean, there's so many possibilities there. I think it's a really cute and fun set, especially with Valentine's coming up. So you can see there's coordinating dies here that are going to die cut out your stamped words. But that die is also a shadow die for the dies that cut out the words, and these dies that cut out the words match the stamped words, so you can really mix and match these, and I think that is so genius in these Simply Sentimental sets. So here I'm showing you all the coordinating dies, and then I'm going to show you the difference between the stamping and the die cutting, so you can see them side by side and just how they look together. So first, I've stamped out 2 of the different fonts, one that says hug and one that says hugs, so you can see them. These are probably my 2 favorite fonts in all of the Simply Sentimental sets. So now I'm using the coordinating dies and I've die cut those out. You can see how it cuts around them so nicely, like a shadow layer. And I love this one right here because you can color it. And if you didn't know, we have a coordinating stamp and die set that is an alphabet that matches that. Okay, so now I've die cut out the words and die cut out the shadow layer. And I wanted to show you when you cut those from rip and stick paper, a lot of times the words will stay in the die, and you can line that die up with the shadow layer, squeeze it onto the shadow layer, use your pokey tool, and it will stick right down, and you don't have to worry about peeling each letter out and sticking it onto the shadow layer. It sticks right there for you. That was a genius idea from one of our designers, Lauren Taylor, and I have used it ever since I saw her do it, and I think it's genius. So I wanted to share that with you and make sure you all knew about it too, because you can do that with dies that you already have. So there it is with rip and stick sheet on the back of white cardstock, and the letters are stuck down to some glitter craft foam. So there you can see the difference between the stamped version and the die cut version, and you can see why both of those are really fun to have, but both would work independent from each other. I thought I would show you one of the sentiments I'm super excited to use, Hug in a Mug, because you know here at Trinity Stamps we have lots of mug dies and stamps. All right, so next up, you know we couldn't do Simply Sentimental Hugs without Simply Sentimental Kisses, right? So here is this 4x4 set. Most of these are the large words that say kisses, and of course we have one that says kiss, and there's a few sub-sentiments to go with that, plus an ampersand that goes with that really scripty word right there. I think this is so very cool to have the hugs and kisses. I think I'm going to use these a lot, especially this one says sealed with a kiss, which you could put on an envelope. I think that's really fun. So again, we're going to take a look at what these look like when they are stamped versus when they are die cut out, and I just think that really helps show you the versatility of these sets and how probably like me, you can't live without having both. So here I showed you how the hugs stamp works with the ampersand and the word kisses, so scripty and beautiful. And then I've stamped out the other more cursive kisses as well. And I paired that with lots of kisses. I thought that would be really fun to put on a card or the inside of a card. Also, if you ever find that your stamps are not stamping nice and crisp when you very first get them, sometimes it's nice to rub an eraser over your images. And we have these clickable, retractable erasers in the shop that are just a little bit of a sanding eraser, a really light, fine sanding eraser that work great for that. So if you have that issue, give those a try. I recommend them. Okay, so next, here you can see what that looks like die cut out. So the white letters are die cut mounted on the shadow layer. And I think it is so cool to have the option to do either one. I also wanted to point out that this word kiss has the tittle for the I separate. It is a separate die. It's very tiny, so don't lose that. Keep track of it. All right, so there is the Simply Sentimental Kisses stamp and die set. Next up, we have our brand new Insider Sentiments for Valentine's and Coordinating Speech Bubble die set. Check this out. It's a huge set, and it has so many sentiments that are great for the inside of your card. Now, we have labeled it for Valentine's, but so many of these sentiments are going to work for you for other occasions. But of course, we have our traditional like Happy Galentine's Day, and then we have I hope your heart is full of love and your mouth is full of chocolate. The best things in life are better because of you. Roses are red, violets are blue. You're my Valentine's Day, sweetie, and I will always love you. And so many more. This is such a full stamp set. It's going to give you sentiments to use for years to come for so many occasions. So make sure that you check this set out. Plus, the coordinating die set is very cool and more than meets the eye. So let's take a look at that. You can see this is a speech bubble die set, but each of the speech bubbles actually has 2 dies. So that gives you many different ways to use them. I wanted to point out that getting that inside die out can be a tight squeeze for your pliers, so it might be easier for you just to twist that die and pop it out, and then you'll have your 2 pieces much more easily. All right, so when you stamp out your sentiment, you can use that inside portion of the die to die cut out that piece. But you could also just use that speech bubble. or you can do them together where you layer the pieces up and the speech bubble becomes a shadow layer. So that's a really fun look too. So let me show you what that looks like. With this sentiment, I hope your heart is full of love and your mouth is full of chocolate. Plus, when you die cut out that inner piece, it actually creates a frame. So you could put that frame around it for like a little extra touch, or you could cut it from another color and have 3 different colors on the sentiment. And then I also like to cut the inside piece and the speech bubble at one time. It gives you like a speech bubble frame. So if you were to stamp your sentiment directly on your card, you could put a speech bubble frame around that. So let's take a look at this where I stamped Happy Galentine's Day from the set and then added the speech bubble right to it. And of course, you could use these independent of this stamp set with things you already have. Here's a little treat box that I made with that die set, and I popped it up off of the box using a strip of acetate. So nice fun look, but again, you can use these on the inside of your cards for that added thing that you always need on the inside of a card. I think it's a fabulous idea. Next up, we have a standalone die. It's the Mini Heart Swirl die set. Now, this die set might look familiar to you, but this is a mini slimline size. So it's just under 6 inches. So it can fit on your mini slimline cards. It also is going to work great on your A2 size cards. Here you can see what it looks like die cut out on top of that shadow layer. And if this looks familiar, like I said before, we had this die come out in a previous release in the slimline size, so we thought you would also love it in the smaller size since it was so popular. So make sure that you check that out. All right, next we have a new stencil. It's the Pyro Technics 6x6 stencil. Now this stencil is a 4-piece set, and you can see that this is broken into grids, and on each grid is a different thing that you can stencil, and the fireworks can be layered up with different colors and pastes to create really lifelike fireworks. So very cool. See the grid lines there? And then each of those stencils has etched lines. So when you go to stencil, you can layer it up with the stenciling that you've already done. Very cool, and such a fun way to get fireworks for your New Year's cards, or of course 4th of July, or anytime in between. They're great for celebration, and there's so many different styles. So I thought I'd show you just one of them and kind of how this works. So I did the first layer, and you can see I just kind of used some tape to mask off the other areas so I didn't get an accidental inking where I didn't want it to go. And there you can see the first layer, it's just got a few lines, but then once you add each layer, you're going to build up more and more of this image, and having the different colors is the part that really brings these to life and makes them look extra special. So here's layer 2, and then we'll add a 3rd layer. So I'm doing some pink and red on this one, and it's just a subtle difference, but I think it helps it look more lifelike and sparkly with the different colors of one color family, the different shades of color. So there was layer 3, and then the 4th layer just has these little dots in around that give it that sparkly effect. Very, very cool. All right, so here you can see I've done a full panel of fireworks, and I think this is going to make a great background for a card. All right, so that's it for our sneak peeks for today. I am leaving you with some wonderful examples of cards made with these things that I've shared with you by our designers. They have come up with some really clever things that I know you'll love and will get you inspired to play with these new products. Now remember, these products are hitting the shop tomorrow, January 4th, 2024. So you can go over there and check them out. And we're also celebrating this release with a hop on Instagram and YouTube. So there's 2 different ways that you could win a gift card to the shop by hopping along with us as we share even more inspiration with you. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. We would love to hear what you think of these products, and let us know if you have a favorite. Leave that in the comments below, and we'll see you again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!